sometimes you have to build and organize your own group if you want to attract the type of people that you're trying to be around. In my case, I wanted to find a group or be in a group that was specifically focused on acquiring businesses. I later found out that that's called M&A, mergers and acquisitions, but I didn't know it at the time. And I didn't see that need here in the Treasure Valley being met. And so I created my own, and it has been freaking fantastic. But before that, I've tried and co-hosted so many different groups. I think at this point it's like 4 or 5. I remember my first attempt was with this group of guys who works out every morning. And I was like, hey, I know there's a lot of business owners in here. I want to organize something. And I put the group together, and the first few meetings went really well. Towards the tail end, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 were showing up. I wasn't getting what I needed out of the group, okay? The second time I tried to start a group, it was a group called Single Driven Entrepreneurs, and the way that came about was because I went to either networking groups or divorce groups. There was nothing that married the two. In other words, like I wanted a group full of people who are going through divorce, have gone through divorce or separation, or have already came out on the tail end. Folks that have lived that experience, so that way I can relate to. Every time I would go into networking groups, I can never find that. It was either one or the other. So I started this group, had about 2 meetings, and it just kind of fizzled out and nothing really happened. I don't know if it's because we just didn't maintain it or people were not really into it. I do know one issue with it though, the name Single Driven Entrepreneurs. It kind of implied that it was a hookup group or like a dating group of sorts, which it was completely not the intention. That was not the intention at all. So I could understand why some folks took it that way, but it was supposed to be for professionals, for entrepreneurs who have gone through that situation. Then we would have a resource directory where if you need a good attorney or you need daycare, or if you need business resources, then we would have that all set up. And I got so motivated and I wanted it to be this whole big thing, and maybe I'll revisit it later. But that one, we just ended up squashing. The other group that I co-hosted was a networking group. I found a lot of the times when I went into these networking groups that I was more of the seasoned business owner, because I have so much experience at this point that I would most of the time fall into the mentor role or like coaching role, which is fine. I freaking love helping people. I really do. But again, I was not seeing any ROI out of it because I've reached a point in my career where when I walk into networking meetings, I am not there to sell a single business or service. I'm not operating my businesses anymore, or working in them anymore, right? The owner operator role. And so I don't need to walk into a networking group and be like, hey, refer my dog training business, let me refer yours. Or hey, refer my poop business and I'll refer yours, right? That's not where I'm at right now. Where I'm at is more of an investor. So I want to talk to folks who are buying businesses and selling businesses or have money for me to buy a business, folks that I can help build wealth, which is kind of the name of the game for me right now. And what I love to do, I love building systems. And I just couldn't find anything like that. But I had ran into a few people that were kind of on that same path. I had ran into people who I talked to and like, oh man, I would love to do something like that, right? And so the first person that I approached about it was my good friend, David Horry. If you haven't seen David, check him out on LinkedIn. I'll put his contact info here, but huge in the M&A space. And I was like, hey man, would you be interested in a group of people who specifically are into business acquisition? I want to put together a tight-knit group of 6 to 8 people who are all in here for the same purpose. We can share deals. We'll have a contract in place so nobody snakes a deal, right? If I have an off-market deal, I'll bring it to the table. Maybe it makes sense for somebody who can jump on that opportunity. If not, no biggie, right? We can help each other analyze the deal. We can get creative with solutions to help each other close on deals. He's like, yeah, man, that would be freaking fantastic. I was like, awesome, man. I will get it started. And then I got another close friend of mine in the group. And then from there, it just became a referral network. I had people asking me to join the group that I have to turn away. And I later find out again that it's an M&A group, mergers and acquisitions group. And so it's like I was building something and I didn't know what that something was. And it is an amazing feeling because I had searched for this group for so long. And in order for me to like, quote unquote, find it, I had to put it together. I had the one to be to structure it. I had the one be the one that found a few key people who really believed in it or had that same goal, right? A bunch of like snipers who are just hungry and ready to get things done. And that's exactly what this group is. And so I went to ChatGPT, as everybody does nowadays. I was scouring for names, and then I ultimately ended up on Empire Builders. So Empire Builders, as the name implies, is for folks who want to build empires, okay? But it is kind of evolving, and I knew it would, but it's starting to grow, which I wasn't expecting because I only originally wanted 6 to 8 people in the group. And you really know that you're onto something when everybody starts asking you if they can be in it, or they start referring people who they think would be a good fit, right? So now everybody that's in the group is so collaborative. I'll throw in a deal, that I got referred to. David will throw in a deal. Other folks will throw in deals. We're like, oh, that's not a good fit, or like, help each other look at financials and things that maybe they didn't catch that we should catch. So like getting second or third eyes on it. We have an amazing bookkeeper in the group, Mr. Zach Rowley, who've had on the podcast before as well. I'll link him here as well. But it's such a good group of people, and everybody either wants to make micro acquisitions, buy businesses, or has capital to help us buy those businesses, private money lenders. So moral of the story is if you can't find a group that you're looking for, build it. If you can't find a group of people who are athletic and on your same exercise routine, create the group, see who's joined. You might be surprised. There's lots of people out there who have the same interest. They don't have that same ability to organize things. I did not think I did either. I thought, hey, I just need to find a group, but no, the group found me. So until the next one, take it easy.